What is up, guys? Pie Muffin here, and we are back with our Tales of the Rays video. So, we had a pretty hefty update last night that actually changed some core mechanics in the game and added some really cool stuff. So, this is going to be a video for, obviously, those who can't read Japanese to kind of go over what we did get. Of course, I'll have my own separate, event video later on, but this is just going to cover, the normal kind of update stuff. So I guess without further ado, let's hop into it. So first things first, you can see there is a tab over here now. This lets you access a lot. Instead of having, you used to have to go in this last tab right here just to access your player card and stuff like that. You can now access that from here, as well as some of the other stuff like your friends list and such like that, which also used to always be here. But there is a new menu here that did not exist before, which is this menu. Now, I'm sure tons of people will want to know exactly what this is. So, each one of these tickets are for the new Mirage system. So, we're going to go over, obviously the Mirage system itself, but these basically reduce the cost of specific types of Mirage arts. So, you have... I'm not sure which one is which off. I know this one, I think this one on the bottom. Actually, we're going to look at the events. We'll be able to tell. But long story short, each one is for a different color. I believe it probably goes in order. It's probably like Mirage Art, Seasonal, Decisive Mirage Art, Overray, Crossover Mirage Art, and then Collab. I think this one, top one is actually Collab, though. Let's actually go to the event real quickly and look. So basically when you get enough of them, you'll be able to exchange them and use them, and it gives an overall, kind of like some of the other stuff, that gives an overall buff, so you'll be able to reduce the costs. And from what I've seen, it looks like you can reduce it by a total of 10% overall. I'm not sure, numbers, I'm still kind of trying to figure out everything, but we go over here. Okay, so, yeah, this was the one on the top left. So this is for the, I'm guessing this is for regular Mirage Arts, though. I know it's a collab event, but I'm guessing this probably reduces for collab Mirage Arts. So basically, what you have to do with this, and I'll go over this again in my event video, the total number of burgers you exchange here gives you these. It's not just collecting them, you have to actually exchange them. So you need to exchange a total of... what it looks like 950,000 burgers in order to basically get them all. So that's the first thing. Second thing I want to go over is actually tied to that, which is going to be in the we want to go to the character page over here. This is actually a really big thing because it yet another way to make your units even stronger. So we'll start off with Lloyd. You're going to have to do this with all your characters, by the way, so it is going to be kind of time-consuming. And then you want to go to your equipment tab on your specific character, and you'll see there's another gauge here. We used to have a big box. This big box here used to be for the spirit gear, which, as you can see now, is in the middle over here. You have your two Mirage Arts, your main, your sub, and then your spirit gear. But now you have this third tab, and what this third tab is your auto Mirage gauge, or your auto Mirage slot. So now there's a way for Mirage Arts to activate on their own. Now, the requirements for being able to put a Mirage Art in this slot, if you're a newer player, this may be a bit harder. But the requirement is basically it has to have dupes in it. So if you only, as long as you have one extra copy in a Mirage Art, you can put it in this slot. Now, here's the thing with this. So as you can see, for example, there are two Mirage Arts that are lit up. Lloyd's regular one and his seasonal. So what that means is I can put his regular one or his seasonal in the auto slot even though it's already equipped to him on the character itself. So if I want to put his regular one, I do that, and there you go. And it should give him a little bit of a buff. I don't really know. So was there really a big difference? Let me see. So 11,422. Was he over 11.4? I don't even know. Let's try moving it and see what happens. So 11, 4, 22 compared to... Oh, yeah, that's a... Okay, so he got like a 600 attack buff just from that. So, yeah, so every character you at least, you know, have a dupe for, definitely do this. Now, the thing I'm going to mention is, if you have a character that only has 2 Mirage Arts, you know, let's say you have their normal one and their seasonal, but neither one of those have a dupe in it, or aren't full duped out, you don't even want to bother. And I'm going to explain why. So let's go to another character. I have a character actually perfectly in mind. Where is Richea? I don't remember exact. I don't want to filter right now. I'm going to see if I can just find. Okay, there she is. This will be a perfect example. Because I know I just pulled her Mirage Art and her seasonal recently. So this will be a good example for that. So, with this, go over here. Go ahead and click on this. You will see I cannot put any of her Mirage Arts in here. Now, if I want to, I have to remove it from the sub bar. So, the reason for this is because they're not max duped out. You cannot put a Mirage Art in the auto tab that doesn't have full dupes in it. So if you and you can't put the free Mirage Art in the auto tab, it doesn't let you, because obviously you don't pull dupes for the free copy. So on characters that you don't have a single max duped out, or you don't have at least 2 or more Mirage Arts, don't even bother, because it's not going to help you, because the auto Mirage Art thing, it's not just where it's like it fills up to a certain amount and it activates it. There are specific conditions for each type of Mirage Art to where they will activate. We'll go over some of them because I don't know them all. Obviously, this update hasn't even been out for 12 hours yet. It's literally been out for like 8 hours. So it's going to be a while before we know all of the different mechanics for it. But I can go over at least a few of them once we actually get to a battle format. So yeah, only do this. Only put a Mirage Art in the auto tab where you have more than 2 Mirage Arts. So let me think. Who's a character? Probably someone at the top that would be a good example. Milla, for example. I know Milla. I don't think I have any of her stuff max duped out. But like for example, for this, if you didn't have, you know, max dupes on anything, actually her regular one might actually be max duped out. So this might not be a good. Yeah. She does. Okay, well, anyways, even if I didn't want to use that, see, I can use her seasonal. I can put it right there. So there you go. You have 3 Mirage Art equips basically right there. And of course, the Mirage Art in the auto slot costs less to activate. You can see MG is only 56 right there. Whereas normally, the MG for this is 80. So whenever as long as your gauge is filled up enough to a certain extent, you'll be able to activate it. But since I have max dupes on this one, that's obviously more beneficial to put in. But if I wanted to activate it more, I would definitely put her Christmas one in there. And then that will, of course, give her a boost, so now she's over 11,000 power as well. So, all your top characters, like, let me just look at my box real quick. You know, a lot of this top row, the first 5, 6, 7 rows, I'll definitely be able to probably put something in. Like Magilu right here, I know I have 3 Mirage Arts for. Red over here, definitely. Luke, of course. Marta. Marta, actually, no. I didn't pull her seasonal, so I only have 2 Mirage Arts for Marta. Ruka, no. But yeah, there's a decent amount of characters that I will be able to do that for, and that a lot of people have been playing for a while will be able to do that for. So it's a pretty cool update. I'm actually really happy about this. And the other thing that it gives you is it gives you a 3rd Mirage gauge, so you can fill it up 3 times. Which is actually really, really cool, because even if you don't use the auto, it seems you'll be able to, you know, pretty much use 3 Mirage Arts, and then your Spirit Gear. So we're actually going to test this out. We're going to go to the dojo, and as we're going to sit here for a second, and I'll kind of go over everything, but first, let's, I think since, you know, I was talking about Lloyd, let's go ahead and take Lloyd, since he already has his 3 Mirage Arts equipped. All right, and so you can see kind of on the bottom. In the bottom left, you can see it says auto. That means the auto Mirage art is ready to use because obviously your gauge has been filled up enough. And you can see the color of the bar is different. So before we even worry about the auto thing, let's go and let's do this. Let's show it off. So 1, 2, 3, and Spirit Gear. 73,000 damage, and I got to use 4 Mirage Arts. Which is actually really, really cool. Unfortunately, you can't change Mirage Arts in here. But, like, for example, let's actually back out real quick, and let's go back to characters. So, we saw Lloyd used his regular Mirage Art twice. He used his Decisive Mirage Art once, and then, of course, his Spirit Gear. I believe, I mean, we're going to find out right now, that the reason he used his regular Mirage Art twice is because that's what's also equipped in the auto slot. So let's go to Milla, for example. Where is Milla? Oh, she's second now because we actually did upgrade her. So the first Mirage Art she should activate should be her Christmas one. Okay, no, it's her regular one. Oh no, because we didn't leave the Christmas one on. Never mind. But it should be a similar thing here. You know, you can activate 4 Mirage Arts at once. And then, of course, you get your Spirit Gear as well. We'll back out in a second to see if that's actually the case, if it doesn't just use your second Mirage Art twice. But I do want to go over... I'm going to pull this up on the side. We're going to go over some of the... I'll leave the game on while we talk about this, but let's talk about the specific conditions. So, for example, regular Mirage Art, some of the conditions are number of seconds after the battle starts, number of enemies defeated, and number of justs performed. What a just is where you pretty much do an attack, and then you'll see it in a second. Hold on, let's see. See, right there, where it says just. So when you activate an art right after another art ends, you get what's called a just. So, stuff like that. I don't know if we're going to be able to activate Auto MA in here, because like it said, it's a number of seconds after the battle starts. So we're just in the dojo, so it's probably not going to be a good showcase of this. For Decisive Mirage Arts, number of total damage, number of seconds after an enemy uses a Mirage Art. So if an enemy uses a Mirage Art on you, you will possibly be able to activate one against them. And then for Overray is when character has less than 5% HP. So if you're about to die, your character may activate it as well. So this is very, it's not something you want to rely on happening all the time, because there's so many variables that could possibly happen with this. So you do have to kind of be careful with that. But it is nice that you get a third Mirage gauge. I can't think of much content besides co-op where you're going to fill up the Mirage gauge 3 full times. But it is nice that you won't stop at 2 and you can kind of keep filling it out if you are on a longer stage. Like those stages that have 8 sets of enemies, you know, the 80 AP stages on events where you're farming, that'll be nice to kind of have there if you're saving it all for the final stage. So that'll be very, very kind of cool there. So yeah, so that's pretty cool. So let's actually back out and see if we can actually, no. Yeah, let's just back out. We'll change Lloyd's Auto Mirage Art to his seasonal since it's max duped out. And then we will go in here and try again. By the way, those are the 2 pretty big things, you know, that came with this update is, you know, kind of like the auto. I guess one big thing is kind of the auto system. Which does change the gameplay quite a bit. You know, it gives you more choices for stuff to do. And it'll be fun to kind of see when Auto Mirage Arts, you know, will just kind of activate on their own. So yeah, definitely I recommend going through your box, especially your top units. Units you have multiple Mirage Arts for, you know, at least 3, or units where you have max duped Mirage Arts, and just kind of setting up this auto thing. Like I said, if you only have 2 Mirage Arts and they aren't max duped out, don't even bother putting one in the 3rd slot. It's much more beneficial to have it in your main and sub slot. But let's go ahead and change. Actually, no, Mill is not a good example because we don't have... I mean, we can put... it doesn't matter. We can put this here. Because it doesn't need to be max duped out just to put... You just need to have more than 1 copy. So a solo copy cannot be put there. Alright, let's go back over to the dojo real quick and just make sure that it does work the way that I thought it did. I think it does. There is one more thing that got added that's really cool that I am going to showcase in this video, even though it'll be something that'll be in my event video as well. So let's grab Milla. I'm not used to seeing her at, like, the top screen. Okay, let's see. Okay, yep. So it can't, your 3rd mirror, if all 3 gauges are filled up, your 3rd Mirage Art will be the one that is in your free slot, or in your auto slot. So that's really cool. I really like that. Which, of course, like I mentioned before, it's more beneficial to have your max duped out Mirage Art in there. Because obviously that one's going to do a lot more damage than one with less dupes. So that's pretty cool there. So that's pretty much it for that. So the one, well, actually there's 2 more things. One, the extra tower floors have been added. I haven't, once I get to floor 60, I will of course make a video on what it looks like after floor 60. Not sure how long I'm going to live, because apparently, from what I remember from the producer's letter, you can only use specific characters on those higher floors, from what I understand. And it looks like there's like this new, like, kind of like skip thing. It was interesting. When you do floor 1, this prompt will come up if you want to skip to floor 10, and it lets you, so that's pretty cool. Okay, so these are the characters that give, like, a bonus for, you know, the tower floors and stuff like that. So obviously the collab characters are the bonus ones. So I'll have to see kind of how it looks with that. By the way, there are no open slots for the tower, so safe to assume we're not getting any brand new characters. Well, I mean, I say that, but it could very well still happen. That we might not get new characters in September. People are still very wary of Tales of Arise, so do keep that in mind. That, I mean, this game doesn't care about spoiling us, Tales of the Rays anyway, so I would not be surprised if we got a Tales of Arise banner. So I'll obviously cover the new tower floors once I actually get there, see how high I can get. But the last thing I want to go over, what's going to be a good stage to kind of, you know what? Let's just do it on... Let's do it on a Spirit Gear stage, since I still have these I haven't done yet. So, I'm farming Sharia, so let's go to Sharia. Grab one of the Mirage Arts. You pretty much can show... I can show this off on any stage that has a boss character. So, what they did was... well, let's run into the battle first before I start saying it. But it now has... Bosses have an HP bar at the top of the screen instead of being over their head. So now we can see, you know, this does feel like really cool. Like, I really do like this a lot. Then, of course, you know, when you do damage to it, it slowly goes down. Obviously, I wish it didn't disappear. I thought it wouldn't disappear when you're targeting someone else, but at least it's still, you know, there, so it's a lot easier to see. Let's go ahead and do this just to kind of get it done. But it's a nice little touch that they added. Oh, no. There you go, dead. And that's pretty much it for the update. So, quite a bit of cool stuff. I do like being able to see the health bar like that, because sometimes bosses take a lot to whittle down, so it's a lot harder to see what you're kind of doing to them. But it is a nice little touch. So I guess quickly to overview, we have the new auto Mirage system, where you can, you know, if you have 3 or more Mirage arts, or if you have a Mirage, if you have 2 Mirage arts and one of them is max duped out, you can set one of them in the auto tab, and that way you get not only an extra Mirage gauge, but you also get a Mirage art that will activate under specific conditions. Of course, you know, a lot of these, I feel like a lot of the time it's not going to happen, especially if you're clearing stages. Like the one we just did right here is obviously very quick, so none of those conditions are really going to activate on their own. Plus, you do need your Mirage gauge to fill up to a certain extent to be able to use it in the first place. So we do have that. We have the tickets, which will be able to lower the cost of, you know, overall Mirage arts for your account. It's not for a specific character. You know, kind of what we showed over here with these. I still don't know how you click on them or whatever. I'm not sure where you actually... It might just be you collect them. You might not actually exchange them. It looks like maybe you just collect them and you see, you know, it just kind of like slowly builds up over time. So that's something to note as well, because I don't think it's in the... I don't think there's like an exchange tab for it or anything. It's not any of these. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. So it probably just activates over time. You know, you just slowly keep getting that that buff for your account. So we have the auto mirror darts. We have that. We have the new tower floors, which, like I said, I'll go over once I'm actually up there. And then finally, we do have a new boss gauge that will appear when you're on boss stages, which is pretty cool. So that's pretty much everything. It was a little bit lengthy. We should have the PV out for September within the next week. I am guessing exactly 6 days from now probably is when it's going to be released. Next Monday is the 6th. I think it would be too long for them to wait till the 10th. Plus, releasing the PV the night that Tales of Arise releases seems like not a very smart move, because no one's going to be looking at Tales of the Rays on the 10th, I'll tell you. I mean, which is funny because the second part of the collab will start on the 10th. It literally starts an hour after Tales of Arise releases. But I guarantee you most Tales fans will not be touching Tales of the Rays that night. So a very interesting night to have the second part of the collab drop. And dropping a PV on the 10th doesn't seem like it would be very smart. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. So let me know what you guys think down below. Let me know if you like this update. Let me know if you're excited for the PV this month. And let me know if you expect Tales of Arise characters to come. And if they do come, what color do you expect them to be? The colors with the least amount of characters are still green and brown, surprisingly enough. So I'm betting on one of those two colors. I think Arise will take one of those colors, and then Crestoria will take the other one when that eventually happens. But that's going to be it, guys. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more if you're new to the channel. I'll see you all next time. Have a wonderful day, everyone.